I'm back again with another real day in the life of an Uber driver. Just before we jump into today's hustle, I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. We just hit 500 subscribers. That is insane. Your support means everything to me, and that keeps me grinding behind the wheels and in front of the camera. If you have been watching, liking, and sharing, again, thank you. However, if you are new here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and join the journey. All right, let's get into today's video. What's up, guys? It's your man, Bola from Ride Hustle. And thank you once again for joining me on this new episode. So, this past Saturday, I hit the road ready to make it count. I had high expectations because Saturday are usually lit, right? Not so much. I started the shift about 4 p.m. and I pick up my first rider at about 4:15, heading towards the city, Southeast 1. It was just over 12 miles, so I said to myself, cool, this will set the tone for the day. That trip brought in £25.61, a solid start for an hour's journey. That first trip took me straight into a surge zone. So my second trip was a journey of 4 miles. It took me 38 minutes and earned £16.76 on surge pricing. I continued to make progress. I picked up my third job for the afternoon from Poplar going to W5. It was a distance of 14.2 miles and earned £34.55 and got 0.01p tips. Sweet. Remember, every little counts. Trip number 4 for the day was from Ealing to Marton. It was an 11-mile trip and earned £20.80. But then the dry spell hit from 8:30 to 10 p.m. I completed 5 trips and earned £38.28. I had a short break and returned to my shift to be welcomed by a trip from Brixton to Blackheath. It was a journey of 7 miles and I earned £21.10. I completed my second surge trip for the day. It was a trip from Blackheath to Southeast 10, a total of 2 miles and earned £8.15 on surge. I have a short story to tell about one of my passengers that I pick up on my shift today. It was past midnight and I've just pulled up outside Whitechapel Hospital to pick up my next passenger. There were few people waiting at the pickup area and I assumed they were also waiting for a taxi to take them home too. A woman approached my car. I rolled down my window and confirmed her name as a standard procedure. And once she nodded, I invited her into the car. As she settled in, I double-checked on my app to confirm our destination and we set off for the ride. Not even a minute into the ride, the lady was playing a music from her phone on a very low volume and she began singing along just under her breath. I had my favorite radio station playing at the time. I thought about turning off the radio, but she didn't seem to mind. So I left it running. Oh, by the way, if you are curious about the radio station that I listen to during my shift, leave a comment below and I might do a video about that. Anyway, about 8 to 10 minutes into the trip, something drastically changed and I wondered why. I suddenly heard her crying. I still couldn't comprehend what was going on, but I quickly realized that she was sobbing. I looked into my rear mirror, but she was sitting directly behind me, out of my view. I didn't say anything In fact, I was unsure what to do. And honestly, I didn't want her to feel uncomfortable. We hardly spoken apart from confirming her name and destination. So in my thoughts, I believe it cannot be anything to do with me. Definitely, it wasn't something that I triggered. When I finally reached our destination, a man was waiting outside as I pulled in. And just before she stepped out, she paused and in a trembling voice, she said, "I'm very sorry, driver. I just lost my mom in the hospital." Before I could even respond, she was out of the door. The man that was waiting for her embraced her instantly while I drove off. I still said something though, softly, maybe to myself. I said, "I'm really sorry for your loss," but I don't think she heard me. And that was it. I sat there for a moment. I couldn't continue driving. I was suddenly back in time, remembering about 10 years ago when I lost my dad. May his soul rest in peace. Here are the rest of the trips completed on the day. This trip is from Southwest 17 to Southeast 5. It was a 5-mile trip, took me 27 minutes and earned £11 34 pence. Another trip I took on the day was a trip from SE5 to SW9. It was a trip of 1.8 miles and earned £5 67 pence. Another trip I completed on the day was from Lambeth to SW2. It was a trip of 2.3 miles and earned £7 52 pence. Another trip on the day was from SW2 to SE5. It was a trip of 2.6 miles and earned £7 38 pence. Another trip that I took on the day was from SW2 to Brixton. It was a trip of 1.8 miles and earned £6 33 pence. Another trip I took on the day was from Brixton to Blackheath. It was a journey of 6.7 miles and earned £21 10 pence. Another surge trip on the day was from Blackheath to SE10. It was a distance of 2 miles and earned £8 15 pence. Another trip that I took on the day was from Southeast 10 to Lambeth. It was a journey of 5.1 miles and earned £12 68 pence. I had one trip cancelled by the customer, but it was paid anyway by Uber. I earned £4 50 pence from the cancelled trip. Another surge trip on the day was from Dulwich to N4. It was a trip of 9.6 miles and earned £28 83 pence. Actually, that trip was less than an hour. It was about 47 minutes. Another trip on the day was from Camberwell to SE8. It was a journey of 3 miles and earned £7 91 pence. One short trip I took on the day was less than a mile. It was from Deptford Broadway to SE10 and earned £5 20 pence. Another trip on the day was from SE18 to SE2. It was a total of 4.6 miles and earned £9 37 pence. By the end of the shift, I clocked in 11 hours 30 minutes online time and 10 hours driving time and made £259 65 pence. Not terrible after all, but not what I was aiming for, especially for a Saturday. Here is the breakdown of today's shift. Online time, 11 hours 30 minutes. Driving time, 10 hours. Gross earnings after Uber commission, £259 65 pence. Expenses, £56 50 pence. Net income, £203 15 pence. Hourly rate, £17 97 pence. Thank you for riding with me today. Check out the video here where I break down my income and expenses as an Uber driver. Or this one here if you want to know how I stay sharp behind the wheels, both mentally and physically. Once again, thank you for 500 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, what are you waiting for? Please hit that subscribe button. Thank you, and I shall see you in the next episode.